HOA security officers unleashed their dogs on Erica James, a black woman holding her newborn baby, unaware she had once been a military dog handler. To them, she was just another frightened mother on the street, cornered, defenseless, clutching her child tight as the glare of flashing lights painted the night. But what these so-called officers didn't realize was that Erica James they were about to intimidate with their vicious animals was not helpless, not ordinary, and certainly not a victim waiting to be written into another statistic. Years earlier, Erica James had stood in foreign deserts, commanding some of the most disciplined military dogs ever trained. She had faced battle, loss, and silence. Now, as her baby cried against her chest and the dog's snarls rose, she was about to reveal a side of strength these men had never imagined. It started in a quiet American neighborhood, the kind of place where people claimed nothing bad ever happened. Neighbors waved over white fences and sidewalks carried the illusion of safety. But for Erica James, a black woman with her newborn wrapped in a thin blanket, the night already carried the weight of unease. Erica James had walked that street before, but tonight was different. Eyes lingered too long, whispers carried too clearly. She wasn't fleeing a crime. She wasn't guilty of anything beyond existing in a place that too often decided who belonged and who didn't. Erica James tightened her hold on the baby, his small cries muffled into her shirt, when headlights swept across the pavement. An SUV slowed in front of her. Another rolled up from behind. Erica James froze. Her body stiffened, instincts from years of military drills snapping awake. That primal signal of danger was unmistakable. This wasn't war. This was supposed to be home. Yet the air felt just as hostile as the battlefields she once knew. The HOA men climbed out, boots thudding against the ground, hands already resting on their belts, suspicion etched across their faces. Erica James opened her mouth to speak, but before a word left her lips, one waved toward the back of his vehicle. The latch popped. A growl split the silence. Out sprang a dog, muscles coiled, leash stretched tight, teeth glinting in the headlights, eyes fixed on Erica James like prey. Her breath caught. For a heartbeat, Erica James froze, the sight of those fangs dragging her back in time. She had stood in front of animals just like this before, had stared into their eyes and taught them when to strike and when to halt. But tonight wasn't about Erica James. Tonight, it was about the fragile life pressed to her chest. The HOA enforcers believed they had total control. They believed their snarling dog would terrify Erica James into dropping down, force her onto her knees, make her into the picture of defeat under their flashing lights. To them, she wasn't a mother. She wasn't a veteran. She was a problem to be erased, an inconvenience they intended to dominate. One snapped his fingers. A barked command cut through the dark. The dog lunged, its breath spraying, teeth gleaming as it hurled forward against the leash. The SUV headlights turned every drop of saliva into a flash, every tooth into a weapon carved from rage. Adrenaline surged through Erica James's veins, the same current that had kept her steady in war zones when explosions shook the earth. The same force that steadied her hands when everything around her collapsed. Her uniform might have been gone, replaced by civilian clothes, but the instincts etched into her bones had never left. On your knees, now! One of the men yelled, baton lifted high. His partner jabbed a finger toward her, shouting, "Drop the kid before you get hurt." Their voices overlapped, anger and command lashing at her like whips. Have you ever witnessed authority push too far, demanding submission when all that's left is a parent's will to protect? What would you do if obedience meant exposing your child to danger? Before we continue, what city or country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. We love seeing where our viewers are tuning in from. And if you stand against fear disguised as authority, like this video and subscribe to Story Arc for stories that show what resilience truly looks like. But Erica James did not kneel. She did not beg. Instead, her gaze locked on the animal. And in that fraction of a second, something flickered. Not in their eyes, but in the beast's. Recognition, a soldier in fur trained to obey, but sensitive enough to feel the deeper authority in her presence. Her fingers twitched. Her arm shifted in a movement so small the men mistook it for fear. But the dog didn't. Its ears flicked. Its growl faltered. Confusion rippled through its body, torn between the sharp orders of the handler and the quiet command radiating from Erica James. The HOA cops shouted louder, their voices cracking with fury. But for the first time, the threat they'd unleashed wasn't looking at them. It was staring at Erica James. The shouting escalated, anger spilling into the night as the men's authority began to crumble. Their faces twisted, their vests clung heavy against their chests, their words colliding as they yelled for the dog to attack. But the animal refused. It circled, teeth bared, then froze, eyes fixed on Erica James as though awaiting an order no one else could hear. For the first time, the fear did not belong to Erica James. It settled into them. Her heart pounded like drums of battle as Erica James bent her head toward her child. She whispered softly, not in English, but in the same foreign tongue she had once used on distant fields, a tone that steadied even the most shaken hounds. The dog's ears pricked. Its head dipped lower, tail stiffening, the recognition unmistakable. The baby's cries quieted, soft whimpers dissolving into silence, as if sensing the steadiness in Erica James's arms. The street itself seemed to still, neighbors watching from porches with disbelief etched into their faces. The HOA guards exchanged frantic glances. Disbelief shadowed their expressions, anger now tinged with confusion. They couldn't understand. This wasn't chance. This wasn't accident. But silence doesn't last long. Silence makes desperate men dangerous. Damn it, one spat, veins bulging in his neck as he grabbed the radio strapped to his vest. He barked for backup, static bursting through the quiet. Another, his face flushed red with rage, mistook Erica James's calm for mockery. He stomped to the second SUV, yanked its door open, and dragged out another snarling dog. Its paws hit the pavement with a splash, its growl deeper, more vicious, straining against the leash like it lived for the fight. What they didn't know was that Erica James had worked with animals even fiercer than this. As the second beast lunged forward, Erica James's mind slipped back into the dust and fire of war zones. Strike! The handler roared, his command raw with frustration, jerking hard on the leash. But Erica James turned slightly, shielding her baby with one arm, her other hand extending steady as stone. Her voice cut through the shouting, a single word, not to the men, but to the beast itself. The dog faltered. Its claws scraped against the pavement. A sharp whine broke from its throat. Its body shook, torn between the leash dragging it forward and the invisible pull of memory anchoring it back. Finally trembling, it sat, its chest rising and falling, eyes locked on Erica James with a strange recognition that sent a chill down the watching men. In that moment, the guards now understood Erica James was not helpless, not fragile, not the prey they believed her to be. Rage swelled in their chests like poison. Authority built on intimidation cannot stand when fear shifts into awe. One man ripped his baton free, slamming it against the hood of the SUV. The crack echoed down the street like a thunderclap. He barked threats. Erica James barely heard because her mind was already spilling with memories. The bitter irony that the very country she had defended now branded her not as a veteran, not as a mother, but as a danger. The weight pressed heavy for a heartbeat, nearly crushing her, until the soft whimper of her baby pulled Erica James back. She steadied. She rose taller. Her hair clung to her face, her eyes locked on the men circling her, dogs subdued, their hands edging toward weapons. Erica James hadn't sought this fight. She had prayed to pass unnoticed. But destiny had chosen otherwise, and with sudden clarity she realized this night was no longer about survival alone. It was revelation. The HOA men, humiliated and enraged, refused to let Erica James walk away unscathed, not after watching two trained guard dogs bow to her presence as if she were their true commander. Their voices rose, barking at one another, debating whether to pull weapons, whether to grab the child, whether to escalate to a place they could never return from. Her chest tightened with the weight of years. Erica James stepped forward into their circle, water splashing beneath her feet. Her free hand rose slowly, not in surrender, but in command. Her voice cut sharp through the air, louder now, firm, the same cadence she had once used to lead dogs through fire and chaos. Both animals moved at once, not toward her, but away. They circled their handlers, growling low, then turned back to Erica James, waiting, eyes sharp as if asking silently, "What comes next?" The men cursed, stumbling, tugging desperately at the leashes, but the animals resisted. Their snarls weren't for Erica James anymore. They were aimed at the men who held them. In that instant, the balance of power cracked. Authority slipped away. The illusion shattered. Rage took over the guards. One ripped his baton high, another's hand slid toward his holster. But before violence could erupt, Erica James dropped to one knee, baby shielded close, and spoke a string of commands in that foreign tongue, words not of cruelty, but of loyalty. The dogs broke free. They leapt between Erica James and the men, muscles coiled, teeth bared, standing as living shields. For the first time that night, it was the HOA enforcers who froze. A heavy silence fell. The two dogs, once meant to be her downfall, now stood firm at her side, shields of fur and muscle, growls vibrating in their throats as they kept the men at bay. Slowly, Erica James rose again. She was drenched, exhausted, unarmed, but in that moment she towered, not through size, but through spirit. She had taken the very tools of intimidation and turned them into guardians of her child. The HOA men stared, disbelief etched into their faces. A minute ago, they had looked at Erica James as prey. Now they saw her as something they could not name. Her eyes locked on them. Her voice came low, steady, unshakable. "You don't know me, but you will remember me." She stepped forward. The dogs moved with her, flanking Erica James like loyal soldiers. The men who had puffed their chests and barked their orders now backed away, fear replacing arrogance, their bluster stripped to nothing, step by step. Step by step, Erica James walked, past the SUVs, past the lights, past the line where authority had once thought itself untouchable. The dogs matched her stride, guardians no longer of men with badges, but of the mother who had claimed their respect. Behind her, the lights dimmed into distance. The shouting died in throats that had nothing left to command. The neighborhood exhaled, the night softening back into stillness. Erica James didn't look back. She didn't need to. Every step carried her farther from their reach, every breath steadied by the warmth of the newborn resting safely in her arms. Her story, from that moment on, was no longer just her own. It became a reminder etched into everyone who had seen it, heard it, or felt the echoes of what happened on that street. That true strength does not always wear a uniform. That survival is not about weapons. That a mother's love sharpened by sacrifice can silence even the loudest storm. If you believe a mother's love is stronger than any weapon, hit like and subscribe to Story Arc, because some stories aren't just told, they're carried forward.